Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. The Young and the Restless spoiler preview video for the week of July 7th to 11th says that Audra Charles will strip for Kyle Abbott. Cane Ashby will also catch Lily Winters in a hot moment with Damian Cane, so let's talk about the drama that is brewing. First, Audra will ask Kyle to assist her come up with some ideas for the 2.0 version of their feud. Kyle will push Audra to get dressed so they can converse in the dining area over lunch, even though she will still be wearing something skimpy from her sleep. Kyle will get up to leave Audra's train car, but she will claim that it is unnecessary because she can just change with him there. The weekly promo for YNR features Audra stripping down in front of Kyle, who stands there gawking at his old flame in her underwear. Back in Genoa City, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will speak with Danny Romalotti about a surprise for Christine Blair. Danny will argue that tonight is the occasion and play up his plan to ask Christine to marry him. Later, Danny will treat Christine to a beautiful evening at Society, where he will salute their relationship, both past and future. It will clear the way for Danny to propose, thus Christine is likely to say yes to their engagement soon. In the park, Mariah Copeland will meet an enraged Tessa Porter and admit that she understands why her wife is so upset. Well, that is just so great that you have the opportunity to understand what I am feeling when I have no idea what's going on with you. Tessa shouts in the promo video. Tessa then advises that they make their separation permanent, and she will consider divorcing Mariah as their marital problems worsen. Damian will concede to Lily that he can't blame Cane for going to great lengths to win her back, but she will insist on something fresh instead. After Lily gives in to a heated kiss with Damian, Cane will appear nearby and look startled at the sight of them sizzling together. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Cane and Damian's feud will only get worse from here, so we'll keep you updated on all of the startling developments. The Young and the Restless spoilers from Monday, July 7th, show that Diane Jenkins Abbott appears to be on the verge of making an unpleasant discovery, while Kyle Abbott remains unaware of Claire Newman's problem. Jack Abbott's opponents will also rise, so there will be a lot of action on the CBS soap. As the party continues in Nice, Kyle will pay a visit to Audra's train car, where she will do a small enticing trick. Kyle will want to meet with Audra once she is changed out of her sleepwear, as he believes they should relocate their brainstorming session to the dining room. Audra will have other ideas and will end up parading about in her underwear right in front of Kyle. Kyle will be aware that Audra is playing games, yet he may still be turned on. Regardless, Diane will keep an eye on Kyle and Audra's developing relationship. Kyle had convinced Diane that he has everything under control, but Diane may be skeptical, especially if she learns about Audra's newest seduction attempt. Diane may learn that they've been alone with Audra while wearing almost nothing and raise an alert. According to YNR spoilers, Kyle may find himself on a steep slope if he does not exercise caution. Of course, until Kyle regains cell service, he will remain unaware of Claire's problems at home. Claire is struggling with the loss of Cole Howard, but she hasn't been able to break the bad news to Kyle yet. Jack Abbott may sense that more danger is ahead for Jabot. Victor Newman has already targeted Jack's family business, but Jack may soon find that Cane is also a problem. The atmosphere in Genoa City had reached a fever pitch, with secrets seething under the surface, ready to burst at any time. Audra Charles, ever the great manipulator, had been playing a hazardous game, weaving herself into the lives of people around her with meticulous care. Her most recent target was Kyle Abbott, a man whose vulnerabilities she was well aware of. Audra had always recognized the power of seduction, and she wasn't afraid to use it to achieve her goals. The connection between them was evident from the beginning, a magnetic draw that neither could resist, no matter how hard they tried. Kyle, still dealing with the aftermath from his failed marriage to Summer, was in a vulnerable position, and Audra saw an opportunity. She had been waiting for the right moment to make her move, and when the opportunity came, she seized it without hesitation. The air between them was thick with unspoken yearning as she gradually peeled away her defenses, both literally and metaphorically, tearing off not only her garments but the well-erected walls she had created around herself. Kyle, torn between remorse and love, was unable to turn away, his resolve eroding with each passing moment. The boundary between right and wrong blurred as they succumbed to the desire that had been growing for weeks, their connection undeniable despite the gravity of the implications. Meanwhile, across town, another controversy erupted, threatening to rock the Newman and Abbott families. Cane Ashby, ever the opportunist, had stumbled across something he was never supposed to see: Lily Winters and Damian Moreau locked in a hot embrace. The sight froze him in his tracks, and his thoughts raced as he digested what was happening in front of him. Lily, his ex-wife and the mother of his children, became involved with Damian, a guy whose reputation was cloaked in mystery and danger. The tension between them was palpable, their bodies squeezed together in a way that left no room for interpretation. Cane's immediate inclination was to storm in and demand answers, but something stopped him. Was it a shock? Betrayal? Or perhaps the disconcerting awareness that Lily had moved on in ways he hadn't expected? He stayed in the shadows, unobserved, while the two became lost in the moment, their love kindling a fire that threatened to consume them both. The contrast between the two scenarios could not have been more stark: Audra and Kyle's gradual, careful wooing versus Lily and Damian's explosive, almost wild love. However, they were both tied by the same underlying truth: desire had a way of revealing a person's most raw and sensitive portions, leaving them exposed to both ecstasy and tragedy. For Audra, this was just another play in her game, a means to keep her position and trick Kyle into giving her what she wanted. But for Kyle, it was something far more complicated, a moment of vulnerability that threatened to undo everything he had worked so hard to establish. As he struggled with the decisions he was making, his allegiance to Summer, his family, and even himself was on the line. Audra, ever the provocateur, knew precisely how to push his buttons, with whispered words and lingering touches aimed to make him forget, if only for a while, the chaos that had overtaken his life. In contrast, Lily and Damian were a very different tale. Their connection was based on mutual understanding, a shared intensity that neither could deny. Damian had always been a mystery, a man who worked in the shadows, his motivations unknown. But with Lily, there was no pretense or games, simply an overwhelming attraction that had been building for months. Lily, a strong-willed and independent woman, had always been cautious with her emotions, but Damian had a way of getting through her defenses without even trying. Their encounter was electrifying, a clash of two energies that refused to be ignored. Cane, watching from the sidelines, felt a twinge of something he couldn't quite identify. Was it jealousy? Regret? Or was it simply a bitter realization that the life he had lived with Lily was now securely in the past? He had no right to meddle and no claim to her anymore, but it didn't make it any easier to bear. As the night progressed, the repercussions of these clandestine contacts became clearer. Audra, ever the planner, was aware that her actions would have consequences, but she was ready to deal with them. Kyle was not. His conscience screamed at him for betraying Summer, despite the fact that their marriage had already ended. Would she forgive him if she found out? So what about Jack and Diane? The Abbotts had already gone through enough turbulence. Could they handle another scandal? Audra, of course, had none of these concerns. She had always been a survivor, adapting to the mayhem she caused. But for Kyle, this was uncharted ground, and one misstep might lose him everything. Lily and Damian, lost in their own world, were blissfully unconscious of Cane's existence. Their bond was too powerful, too all-consuming, to be broken by external circumstances. But Cane's findings would not remain secret indefinitely. Secrets in Genoa City had a habit of coming to light, often at the worst conceivable times. What would happen if Lily discovered that Cane had seen her with Damian? Would it put a chasm between them, or would it compel her to confront the sensations she had been avoiding? And what about Damian? Was he only a temporary distraction, or was there anything more between them? The questions swirled, unanswered, as the night progressed, each instant pushing them closer to an impending confrontation. The twisted web of relationships in Genoa City had never been more complex. Audra and Kyle, Lily and Damian, each pair is united by desire, deception, and the constant possibility of exposure. These interactions would have far-reaching consequences, affecting everyone. For some, it would be a wake-up call, a flash of clarity in the middle of pandemonium. For others, it would signal the start of a downhill spiral, a succession of decisions that would lead them deeper into darkness. But one thing was certain, nothing would ever be the same again. The stakes were heightened, the lines were crossed, and there was no turning back. As daylight dawned over the city, the implications of the previous night's events began to emerge, laying the groundwork for a drama that would leave everyone reeling. The only question now was, who would survive the fallout? It's easy to envision Victor pressing Jack's buttons over his potential union with Cane. Victor may attempt to get under Jack's skin and get him concerned about a partnership that will be his undoing. Cane, on the other hand, poses a threat to both Victor and Jack, or so he believes. Cane intends to seize control of all significant GC business, so Jack and Victor must keep an eye on them. According to previews for The Young and the Restless, Cane will make some hazardous maneuvers along the way, so stay tuned. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Claire Newman may kiss Holden Novak, while Kyle Abbott has a far worse relationship with Audra Charles. Is there going to be a double betrayal episode on the CBS soap? Claire will be experiencing extreme grief on July 11th. Losing Cole Howard will truly shake Claire up, leaving her craving for consolation. Of course, Kyle will remain in Nice, where there has been no mobile service at all. Claire will feel isolated and turn to Holden for the help she needs. Holden will be Claire's lifeboat amid the sea of misery she is attempting to traverse. It's easy to see Claire getting caught up in the moment and sharing a kiss with him just to gain some relief. Naturally, Claire could withdraw and apologize profusely shortly after. Claire may panic over abandoning Kyle, but he could be committing a far larger betrayal as his plot in France progresses. The July 11th episode will also present mounting temptation for Kyle and Audra, so will this be the point at which they give in and do something about it? Could Audra and Kyle give up in the bedroom as Claire and Holden prepare to kiss? If this is the case, Kyle may find himself in a difficult situation when he returns home. Kyle may receive updates on some shocking news and find it difficult to predict what will happen next. Claire might disclose her lip lock with Holden and ask Kyle's pardon. Perhaps Claire might claim it was merely a grief-driven error and promise it will never happen again. Kyle might be quick to forgive and forget if he's slept with Audra by that point. It would be amusing to see Claire feel bad for a simple kiss while Kyle conceals a full-fledged night of passion. Regardless, YNR's July 11th episode appears to be significant for both Kyle and Claire. This could lead to some bold decisions that have a significant impact on Claire and Kyle's relationship. According to The Young and the Restless teasers, Kyle and Claire will face new romantic challenges as the drama heats up.